Hi, I'm Tamara and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about the ESTP, which is one of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. So the other day I had an ESTP that walked by my office and I wanted to test his comedian skills. So I told him, hey, can you come here for a second? Tell me a joke. And he said, I usually tell my jokes on the spot. I don't usually think about them. So he said, what did the snail say when it was on the turtle's back? Whee! Get it? So he came back about 5 minutes later and told me a joke that I can't say on here, and it was incredibly funny. Had me cracking up. So when I think of ESTPs, what really jumps out at me is they are comedians. They can be so funny, hilarious, jokesters, pranksters. So ESTPs are action takers. They are risk takers. They love spontaneity. They like to enjoy life and live it. They want to experience life. So they're going to be your stunt doubles, people who are in sports. They love that kind of stuff. They are usually very social and like being around a lot of different people. They're going to be the funny ones in the group. And some of them may not consider themselves to be funny. They may not have quite tapped into how funny they actually can be, but they can also be great storytellers. You can even spot ESTP children because they're the ones that will tell you, when I was a fireman, I used to do blah, blah, blah. So they have that type of imagination. Some ESTPs could even be prevaricators, which is a big word for liar, because their storytelling can get so good to them and their imagination so rich and they're creating this great story and they're making everybody laugh. You're going to have different variations of storytelling and different levels of the comedian and the funny guy. But if they really tap into it, these are the people who become the fantastic, great comedians of our times. I mean, think Eddie Murphy, Jimmy Fallon, Kevin Hart. There's lots and lots of them. They can have a quick wit. They can be the life of the party. Sometimes it can translate into dry sarcasm. Sometimes they could be biting a little bit. They might be the ones that tell your mama jokes. They could see something funny about you and just keep the ball rolling on you. Like they can find all kinds of things about you that will make other people laugh and say it in such a way that it's funny. Let's say you get on their bad side, or they can put you on the spot and they can verbally have you crawling in a hole. And they will do it in a funny way, but the sarcasm, the quick wit, especially if you make one of them mad, they could probably do verbal somersaults on you, but it's gonna be in a twisted and backwards flipping sort of way that's funny but also puts you down if they want to go into that realm. They love to laugh. They can be very playful. I'm sure you've heard people say, oh, you play too much. They're probably talking about an ESTP because they're going to want to joke with you, play with you. Let's say an ESTP has a crush on you. Haven't you ever had that guy that they make fun of the way you talk or they imitate you? It's probably because they have a crush on you and they like you and they are using their sense of humor. I think their motto would be imitation is a form of flattery. When you think about some of the movies that we've seen in our times, Tyler Perry is an ESTP, and how Eddie Murphy, they like to play different roles. You know how they turn into different characters, like now I'm a woman, now I'm a man, now I'm dressing up as an elderly person. Martin Lawrence did that a lot, where they like to get into other characters. It's not reading people in an intuitive way. They sort of pick up on your facial expressions and they can kind of know what's move you're gonna make. They're sort of anticipating that. In other words, they probably make good football players or be good at sports because they can anticipate where you're going next. Of course, it would be easy for them to step into different characters and play them out and know how they would react and what they would say, because they find the funny in everybody and the intrigue in, you know, that old uncle that you have and how they talk and how they act. They sort of pick up on those nuances. They are very action oriented, and so they can become very bored when there's lack of action. They also may have some trouble with follow through on certain things, like I'm getting to it and they never do. So because you have such a big variety, they can sort of go into this lane of having a really good, deep-ish conversation about philosophies of life. They can click into a more serious mode when it comes to their Christianity or their religion. Some of them can have extremely high work ethic. Whatever they do, it doesn't matter if it's a minimum wage job, for example. If they believe in it and it's serving other people, they can be extremely hard workers and very detail oriented with pushing through and getting things done. Now there needs to be some type of human interaction component, because that's what's going to drive them and keep them going, because they are very peoply and they do get a lot of energy from people, and that's where they get their momentum from. But they enjoy doing a good job for people, and they take enormous pride in what they do. They can take their jobs very, very seriously. But then you can also get the other extreme where there's that lazy, super lazy ESTP that doesn't want to get off the couch potato. I'm just sitting there watching TV, just chilling. I don't have a job. I don't want one. I have no motivation. There's so many of them that you're gonna get a big variety. Also kind of have a laid back, easygoing type spirit, but they can handle different situations that call for action. For example, if they are a police officer, they can be very dedicated and loyal to their families, where they want the best for them and look out for them and really love them, really care for them, be very dedicated and super proud. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't some that are not as devoted to their families as they should be. When you tap into one that's really into their family, you got a gem there, because they are gonna be very much into their families and caring about them, showing their kids that they're there. They're gonna be at the sporting events. They're gonna be dedicated. I don't know if you're familiar with like the ego, the id, the super ego. And your id is kind of that, hey, you know what? I feel like smoking a cigarette today. I want to drink a beer. I feel like satisfying that spontaneity. I want to party. I want to have fun. When I think of the id, I think of this Myers-Briggs type because they like to richly satisfy their id. That unconscious desire for the things in life that are meant to be enjoyed. Like they want to go all in and really enjoy life's experiences. They don't want to think about it. They want to live it. They want to get out there and they want to do it. A really good restaurant or a really good football game, or if they have a hobby that they indulge in, they can really, really get into it and just experience it and take it in to a richer degree than a lot of other types can. So they like to have fun and they're going to live it up in their life. So they are sort of your adrenaline junkies. They also can become super bored with routine, and they might be the type of kids, some of them, that don't really understand the purpose of school. Like I've had some who are into more, have more hands-on type jobs that have told me that they really just, school was just like, for what are we doing this for? Like how is this useful? But you can have very intelligent conversations with them, because when there's something that they're really interested in, they really get into it. So they like to appeal to the senses. They could be the type that go work out and then eat a burger and some French fries. You know what I'm saying? So they're fun. Something profound that I heard Kevin Hart say, who is an ESTP, is that he has the ability to accept reality. And I thought, wow, that is a really powerful statement that really embodies and encompasses a lot of who the ESTP is. They can accept reality. And that may not seem like a big deal, but for a lot of types, it is a huge struggle. It's something that they can't put their finger on. It's elusive, but for an ESTP, it is real. So that means that when things happen in life that maybe aren't so good, they can accept it, they can grasp it, and if you have the ability to say, it is what it is, I accept it as what it is, then you can move on from it, you can heal from it, you can be resilient. You're not gonna go into this deep, deep state of denial. Not that they can't go into denial about some other things, like let's say they have an insatiable appetite for cheating. They can go into denial and blame the spouse and not see their part in it. You know, it's all her fault, that's why I did it, because you know, that type of thing. So, but it's not that, but it's just, what can I do about it? They're going to be realistic, so they're going to be able to get in there faster and start fixing the problem. Let's go into action. Let's do something about this. So I think that is really a gift, a precious gift that I wish all types could experience. Maybe there are times when an ESTP doesn't take ownership of some of the mistakes that they're making or some of the things that they're doing wrong. Maybe they struggle a little bit with taking ownership of that. So that could be something that they could kind of work on, right? For their cognitive functions, they have extroverted sensing, which means that they're going to take in the experiences around them, which means that they're going to use their senses. They're going to use what they hear, see, touch, all of that to interpret the world around them and to make sense of the world. They're not going to be your theoretical, hey, let's guess this or figure this out. That's not them. They are going to use that SE to seek out fun and happiness and adventure in their life and experience the joys in life. They're going to be in the moment. They're going to be like, let's enjoy today. Let's enjoy what we're doing right now. They are also introverted thinkers. That function really helps them to understand the world around them and how things work, how people work. It helps them to be logical and figure out how to implement things in a logical manner. And it really helps them to be very practical, good problem solvers. Now, their third function, their tertiary, is their extroverted feeling function, which is very interesting because this brings out the humanitarian side to them. This is what helps them to problem solve, to help people. If there's a tragedy or a crisis or, you know, hurricane relief, they're going to be the ones on their boats traveling somewhere to come and rescue somebody. They can be big humanitarians. I know for me personally, I have connected with some ESTPs and these people have gone, I'm talking all out, to help me when there was someone that I wanted to help and didn't quite know who to connect with or what to do. I remember connecting with an ESTP who stepped in and took things to the next level. They are phenomenal at that, and they don't even necessarily want any credit for it. It's just from the goodness of their hearts. So I think that's one of the really, really cool parts about an ESTP that sometimes people don't recognize. And the last thing I want to say is, I started off talking about how they were comedians. What do people say about comedians? They say that comedians have gone through a lot of painful situations, that they use comedy and humor to overcome all sorts of things. I think that's true, because I think you'd be surprised to hear that some ESTPs actually suffer from depression and it can go really deep. But thank goodness they have that sense of humor to help them, you know, dig themselves out. So they have happy moments and they have sad moments, but they are a lot of fun to be around. They bring a lot of joy to life, and they're just cool, laid back, like, hey, like, if you want to go have some fun, hang out with an ESTP and it's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time with them, and they are great, great people. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you could be the first one to get my MBTI videos. Thank you so much for watching.